As great and impactful as this movie is still, I still can't get over the trauma. What's up, everybody? So, happy 50th anniversary to Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss. I agree with Quentin Tarantino when he said that Jaws is the best movie ever made. This wasn't necessarily the first summer movie blockbuster. That distinction goes to The Godfather. Jaws definitely began the summer movie blockbuster event. And this was the biggest one of them all. I mean, The Godfather made X amount of money, more than any, I think, at the time. And Jaws just took it up to another level. It has everything that you want from a big summer movie blockbuster. It's got excitement, it's got scares, it's got great stories, it's got great movie making. It has all of these ingredients that when you learn that this was really Steven Spielberg's first real outing as a director, he did a movie called Duel, but that was like a made-for-TV movie. This was the first chance at like a movie being released in the movie theater. And he just blew it out the water. And some of the movie making techniques that he used are still just, people are trying to imitate that even to this day. I mean, for the longest time, people were talking about, the oneer in Daredevil, just a one camera shot that just goes on and on and on through an intense fight scene. Extraction 2 had, I think, a 20-minute oneer during its big prison escape action sequence. But with this one, he uses the oneer, makes the audience zoom in and pay attention to what's happening. And in this particular case, it's a conversation between, the chief and the mayor, because he wants to shut the beach down for the weekend, for the big holiday weekend where the city makes most of its tourist money. There's that scene where Roy Scheider's character, the chief, he's just sitting on the beach, and then there's a shark attack all the way in the distance, and there's that close-up that it almost feels like the background is coming forward and the camera they're like meeting each other. It was a shot that I still have not seen anyone else do quite so well. The other thing that I think is really, really impactful, that not only is it, a big monster movie, obviously, but there's so much of the monster that you don't see. You rarely ever really see the shark. You see the dorsal fin, and then in the third act is when you finally see it come up out of the water for an attack. Up until then, it's just kind of bits and pieces of the shark. Now, for those of you who know anything about Hollywood lore, you know that was kind of a adapting decision to make. They had to figure something out because the shark just was not working. The mechanical shark, they were going to show it way more and they ended up doing, but the shark would not work, and it wouldn't have the desired impact and effect of being scary, that he wanted if they kept showing it. So they had to figure out a way around it. What you had was John Williams' brilliant score that you just hear it and you think shark. You hear it and you feel the suspense. And you're feeling that dread of, oh my God, this is going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to die. Yet it's still brooding. It's still melodic. It's still beautiful. And it works perfectly, And then at the same time, you also have just the human aspect of it. You have the story of the chief just trying to save the people in his town. You have politicians that want to do what politicians do and, take advantage of a big event so that they can say that they did something for the community. The man who eventually takes the chief and Richard Dreyfuss's character out to hunt the shark. And then there's that story that he tells during World War II, what he went through that made him hate sharks so much. Which just the story itself is terrifying. And so you have all of these elements together, the music, the characters that you really care about, great lines, just the iconic line of, I think you're going to need a bigger boat. And little moments like that really make you, the audience, just completely invest and completely want to see these people succeed. You want to see how their story is going to progress and evolve and end. It changed Hollywood forever. Now, since then, everyone is looking forward to the summer movie season. And all the movie studios are like, okay, this is going to be a big one. Let's save it for the summer. And it all started with this, and it's a movie that still holds up today. You watch it, you're still going to be awed by the movie making. You're still going to be sucked in by these great characters, and you're still going to get those thrills and scares from the shark and from the music. It's one of those movies that, it gave me an irrational fear of sharks, to the point where even, getting inside a swimming pool, those alarms are going off in my head. It completely makes zero sense, but it is what it is. But that just shows how powerful the story making was, that it tapped into a fear that we all have as people, as humans, and was able to build an entire story around it. A story that we can all still enjoy today. Anyways, if you haven't seen Jaws, go check it out now. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.